Hi, my name's Alexis Pugh, and I am the director of Memphis Animal Services in Memphis, Tennessee. I have been in this role for just shy of 6 years. It was really hard when I first started. We had a lot of ground to cover. We had a lot of changes to make. But in the early days, one of the things that was really good was that there were always clear next steps. There was always an obvious next thing to do to make a difference in life saving, to improve our quality of care. Then COVID hits. All of a sudden, our population goes way down in shelter. It feels like maybe we've hit this turning point in our industry. No more will we have space struggles in our shelter. No more will we have to even consider euthanizing an animal for space. And then, as things started to open back up, like many shelters around the country, we started to feel that intake demand creeping back up again. The demand for us to get back out there and start rounding up stray animals started creeping back in really heavily with a lot of community pressure. The demand for owners wanting to surrender animals because their circumstances had changed really started climbing. And the calls for our officers to go on abandonment calls or cruelty confiscation started climbing as well. And the problem was that in 2021 and now 2022, all the things that we used to do to address that don't seem to be doing enough anymore. It feels like the checklist of ideas, of solutions, we're out of check boxes. We don't know what to do next. And it's feeling really daunting for our shelter team. I have listened in the room to my staff feeling, quite frankly, hopeless, feeling like, how could we have done so much for so many years, and yet we're right back to feeling like we're at the starting line again? And so what we're trying to do now is really say there's nothing that's off the table anymore, that every idea has to be considered. Things we never thought of in the past, we have to look completely outside of our bubble at new solutions. Some of the things that we've been doing is, how do we send out marketing and communications about our animals to our rescue community? We're getting ready to scrap the entire system and start over. We're looking at completely redoing our volunteer program because it hasn't been working to get people in here. And with staffing shortages, like so many shelters around the country are dealing with, we don't have enough humans in our building to provide the level of care and enrichment we want for pets in our care. We've heard from rescue partners who traditionally pulled from us a lot more in the past that they don't have foster homes anymore, so they can't pull animals from us. So we're trying to find new creative solutions. How can we get more people involved at the front end when they find a pet by becoming found fosters? Something we never would have considered a couple of years ago. A stray hold has to happen in the shelter, right? No. Now it can happen with the person who found that pet. So today is a time when it's easy to get discouraged because it feels like you've tried so many things for so many years to get where you are, and you can't just keep doing those same things. But it's also a time when we can say, wow, it is a spring awakening, if you will, of new ideas and new opportunities. And the place where we're really trying to focus those new opportunities now is looking outside of animal welfare. How can we partner with the housing and community development agency in our city to try and really focus in on expanding access to pet-friendly housing? How can we model ourselves after social workers to provide a case management approach to keep pets in their homes by providing resources and education and access to care, rather than saying, oh, if you can't afford that surgery for your pet, then we're just going to take it into the shelter? How can we partner with other types of social services to make sure that we're reaching communities that we have historically not had access to, that have not heard our message and we haven't reached in the past? So it's a really hard time. It's easy to be discouraged and frustrated. We are every day. When we see in our intake kennels animals wall to wall, and there's 30 of them, and we need kennels on our adoption floor for those pets, but we've got 3. What do? It can be a really, really hard thing. But if you can look at this as a chance, as an opportunity to change who we are as an industry, to look outside of ourselves, and to think about what's next in animal welfare, then there is a glimmer of hope. And that's what we're clinging on to here. is that hope still exists, and we just have to keep being a part of it. We have to keep looking towards that hope and not give up, because the animals and the people who love the animals deserve that from us. So I share in your frustration. I share in your struggles. We are struggling too, but together with hope, we can get there.